These are screenshots I took of the some of the the setup on my phone, and I highlighted sort of right here. We talked about the load balancing. So one heat pump has 926 hours, the other one has 936 hours. So they've been ran very equally. And you can see if you were to add the 2 hours together and then divide by the backup, we're well under 3% of backup requirements for the year that have been required. So it's a nicely sized system. We pretty much provide it all from the heat pump. And here's my target temperature. And my target temperatures are right here on the right, my actual temperatures. Our building is run from solar. So right now the hot water is provided by solar. And the reason we don't have anything going on here, none of the heat pumps are on, because at this time the temperature outside was only 9.4 degrees. So we've set this heat pump to only come on, and you'll see in here, it's got to be at a certain temperature for cooling. So the cooling feature hasn't been activated. So the tank is at room temperature right here. So I talked about quickly moving the priority. We just click on here, switch the priority on our phone, degrees Fahrenheit, Celsius right there. Warm weather shutdown and cold weather shutdown time. This gives us the ability to delay. So when we're in a shoulder season, we can say, hey, I want you to wait 12 hours. So I don't want you to go, I don't want you, especially with a single tank. At nighttime, I heat it, and during the day, I cool it. So it gives us the option to sort of make sure that over a certain period, that temperature is now it's time to turn it to heating. We've had, 24 hours of below temperature. I want to go there. The stages 1, 2, or 3. So if we were using that third option as a heat pump, we would put 3 stages, and that would turn into a heat pump on off. And here's how we're staging them. We can control all of this after 5 minutes. If, and this is, you probably should go a little longer, probably 15 minutes, but we've got it set for 5 minutes. So after 5 minutes, if it hasn't brought it up, it's going to turn on the second heat pump. It's going to rotate after 1 hour of run time, and the next one's going to become priority. And it's going to do that after 5 cycles. And staging off means as we stage on, we could also do a stage off where we turn one off and then the next one off. We've got it just to turn them both off. So, where am I? And then the hot tank right here, the one that's set for 30.6, you can see the, what we do is warm weather shutdown. We say at 7 degrees, I want you to shut down. We don't want this thing running. Our building is got a lot of solar gain, so we got to be certain that we don't want it running at the same time we want it cooling. We actually start our cooling pretty early. But how we define the curve is we look at our design temperature of Winnipeg, and we say it's minus 38.3 is what I came up with, and at minus 38.3 we want it to be 48.9. That sets the curve. Our minimum temperature is on the other side of 30.6. So that determines the slope. So at outdoor temp of, we could have it at 40, max temp of 45. And we play with that. And that's basically, you can look up any chart where you're located, what's the design temperature. And then that maximum temperature is what you know or feel is needed to keep that house at the design temperature. And the differential, it comes on and off, and the differential is a little different. It's 3 degrees total spread. So if my setting is 40 degrees, at 38.5, I'm going to come on and I'm going to run to 41.5. There's my 3 degree spread, a little different than our other controller. And the cold tank, this is a repeat here because it scrolls down. So our cold tank, we have a 9.4, so it's not going to come on. The outdoor temperature, in this case, we're just setting the cold tank at 11.1 degree. We're not using, right now, we're not using any of the heating curve on the cold. And we could do that with the hot too. We could just set the hot for whatever we want. The backup, we and I'll go through this in a little more detail, but it's 30 minutes of running if we haven't, increased the temperature. And the differential is 11 degrees. It's got to fall below 11 degrees before the backup comes on.